All right, so what does it look like? What are we doing? I have been trimming and squeezing. I actually added a little bit of money to my account because I just wasn't feeling comfortable with the level of margin that I was using. So I went and added stuff to it. Things have been going pretty good though. Let's go take a look. This is where the account sits at, $4,600. I think I added $900. I was at 3 something, so that actually might be a lot of that. Let's take a look. Today, nothing. Past week, there it is, the positive 974, profit of $44. So let's go over the last month. Okay, so there we go. That's even better. So then positive 974, but a profit of $1,100. So that is where we're getting where we're at right now. Oh, so pretty. I am almost completely hedged. I have a USD CAD that is not hedged as of yet. It is pretty close. If I look carefully, let's go to the chart. If we look carefully, this is roughly where we're sitting at. I think I have a buy stop. Yep, I have a buy stop a little bit above. Where are we on the weekly? Let's not go to the weekly. Let's go to the hourly. I have dropped down to the hourly. There's where the buy stop's at. I have dropped down to the hourly, and the whole reason being is I can find these pretty sweet zones in there that I can look to actually start managing trades. This has been pretty good for the past week because it allows me to get in and get out of trades, even trimming and hedging, at a pace that I really enjoy. And so I'm okay with that. So I've backed out of the 4 hour and I've dropped into the 1 hour. I've thought about incorporating the 2 candle strategy on this, but I really need to wait until I actually have a lot of the drawdown minimalized. I'd like to get somewhere near $1,500 of drawdown before I start playing with the 2 candle theory. The idea being I'm just gonna look at the daily, use the hourly as my entry, but I'm gonna look at the previous day, see what the previous day did, mark up a zone for that 50% retracement on a daily candle, and then look on the hourly and see what that looks like. If I can get in there, I'll probably, I'm playing around with the hedging zones. Like right now on the 4 hour, it's a 30-40. On the hourly, I don't know, I might drop down to like a 20-40. I might even keep it at 30-40. The whole idea being, let's go take a look at the chart and I'll show you what I mean. On the hourly, I was playing around and just looking. It's like, okay, what does this actually look like? Using, I'm gonna say, yeah, price action, the way the market moves, lower highs, higher lows. Using the last level that you could still consider lower high or lower low. So like, if we looked all the way back here, this would have been I don't know how to get that blue arrow off. That's not helpful. That would have been the last lower high that created that lower low. And so if price is going to maintain this downtrend, it needs to respect that. Yes, you have this minor little uptrend getting formed, but the overall trend, at least for that iteration, was down. And so, you have to watch out. You have to watch out for getting trapped into other trends as being part of a bigger trend. And I've gotten caught in it, and it happens. The idea being we're not going to get it right all the time. We're going to get things wrong. And so it's not about getting it right all the time. It's just about getting and being able to participate in the market enough that we can allow the process to work out over time. And that's basically what I want to do. So I'm looking at these last lower high levels and would you have considered that? Maybe not. Would you have looked at that next potential uptrend and been like, yeah, I'm not going to take a sell because it looks like it's getting ready to burst through that? Sure, fine. Okay, great. There'll be a time when that actually happens and you'll be successful. And there'll be a time like this where it didn't actually happen and I would have been successful. So, who cares? So looking at that last lower high level, waiting for price to come back in there, if we go on the 1 minute time frame, this is what I'm thinking about, or this is what I'm considering. Using the 1 minute time frame, I'm looking for something like this. So like I want to see price come into that zone and then start to leave the zone. But I not just leave the zone and then go ahead and take an entry. I want to see a particular pattern. I want to see some sort of pattern that would make me feel like something that I can be repeatable. So this is double top. Why is this the double top to me? Here is the reason. We have the wrong thing because I didn't grab the right thing. So we have this top right here. And I'm going to change that color to the sell zone. There we go. So we have that first top right there, which is created there. And then we have a second test. So I don't know if you can see that, but price comes back into that zone and respects it. And I'm not talking about the wick, or I'm not talking about what the candle actually looks like. I don't actually care about that. But it's the idea that it didn't close back above this area and it respected it. Now, that is not my entry either. I'm not just waiting for price to do that. What I actually want to see is then price leave the zone. And so on the next candle that leaves that zone, that's where I would get in. What does my stop loss look like? This is what I'm playing with. From the distance of that entry to the top of my zone, which I don't know if it should be the top of the zone. Yeah, I guess top of the zone. That works. Okay. Right? Top of the zone, or maybe top of the zone that the candle created, because it should be a little bit higher. But either way, okay. We'll go with that. So now that we have that, top of the zone, and it's double that. So that's 45. So this would be 90. So 9 pip stop loss is basically what this would be. And then getting in on a trade like that. And what would I be shooting for? This one actually went way far down. I think I'm targeting the previous low that it created. See, so we have a zone here. I want to get out before we ever come to that zone. And so it would have been, like somewhere down there. So that would be like a 1 to 1.5. And I know that's crazy. Like, who's going to hold it that long? Probably not me. I'm not going to hold it that long. Would I eventually be able to hold it that long? Yeah. Why do I know this? Because I've done similar things where, okay, initially I'm gonna try to find just a small little edge. I will do maybe a 1 to 1.5 or 1 to 1.4. Just something enough that if I just need to be a little bit more right than I am wrong. Cool. And then that's profitable. But then you want to catch stuff like that. You want to catch those strong just moves where they just go so beautifully without any pullbacks. So what do you do there? Well, take 90% off the table at 1 to 1.4. That still keeps you above your break-even point. Even at a 50% win rate, you're still going to be profitable. But then you let a little bit of runners run. What does this do? This builds your confidence. How do I know this works? I've done it before. And so that's part of that thing. It's like, yeah, okay, Robert, why can't you just do that right out the gate? Well, because once again, you have to build your confidence back up. I know it worked for certain things at certain times. This is a new thing at a new time. So I can't just assume things are going to work the same. So we're mad scientists. That's what we are. This is a scientific experiment. Every single time we are taking a trade, we are doing a science experiment. Here's X, Y, and Z parameters. Based upon this, what do I expect? What are the results? Document, track, move forward. Okay? Out of all the things that work towards my hypothesis, how many of them are repeatable? What can I do? You do this over and over and over again. You build that intuition. That intuition ends up being that driving factor that decides your hypothesis. And so even though you can't figure out why you believe this trade's going to go down based upon these key levels, based upon these key entries, okay, based upon the price pattern, based upon the weather, I don't know. But even though you can't explain why, that's what you'll start trusting. You'll start trusting that gut intuition of like that gut feeling, the intuition that lets you think, yeah, this is going to go down. That intuition will also drive other things like, okay, it's going to go down. And now that you're in this trade, yeah, I don't feel like it's going to go down that much anymore. So I'm going to go ahead and get out now. So it's like, there's so many nuances, but all of that comes with trial and error. All of that comes as being a mad scientist. You have to be willing to go through the process of the experiment and losing. So as long as you're willing to go through that process, who knows, you might find success in it. So let's go take a look back at the chart and just see where everything's at as it sits. We're going to start first things first with the unhedged position. So USD CAD. here is all those positions. If you've been keeping up with me, I've just been steadily getting in and in. So I was following this with Nick Sean. Nick Sean was in this waiting for price to come on down. And he's been out of it, which is good because that's how he's going to manage it. I have just been steadily working out. I worked out of a bottom position from earlier, was able to work out of a top position as well, and now this is where we're at. I'm currently 30 pips away from the entry, and as price continues to move down, then I don't know if I'll squeeze this because I'm at a good point right now where if price decided to just continue falling, this would be a really nice pullback. And so that's where I'm at right now. I'm sitting here with this just fine. We can go take a look at the drawdown. So the actual USD CAD drawdown. So we have these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 positions that are open. So 34, let's do 35 plus 40, 75 plus another 25. We'll do 25 just to get to 100, 102, 134, 157, 150 something dollars, 160 bucks. So that's really not a lot of drawdown, especially, I mean, even if everything were to move up, I would probably tack on maybe another $40 in drawdown. So about 200 bucks overall. And that one has been a steady, so this was some of the closings there. What are we at the last month? Let's go over the last week. So last week, today, nothing. Okay, so I don't know if I want to do last 3 months. Yeah, this USD CAD was one of the ones over the last 3 months is one of the ones that blew my account. So there's that negative $233 profit. Yeah, that's not profit. That's not how that works. We're at negative 60 bucks overall. So that's cool. That's not that bad. Given, I've been exposed far more than that. Negative 60 isn't that bad. Odd CHF is hedged. This is one of those things. It's like, really? So there in this 52.7 area is a nice little zone. And I'm like, okay, cool. Let me get in there and look where I got hedged. Like, look at that. Look. Are you serious? Look how close can we get? Oh my goodness. Look at that. That's where I got hedged. That's so not fun. So yeah, that's where that's at, and now we're just in this no man's land, which is, part of the struggles with the 4 hour is I can get into these no man land zones where I do nothing for quite some time, and that's where my impatience comes in, and so I want to do something. So I'm bored. Odd USD. Hedged here. We looked at this just a second ago about the hour. That second zone where you see the circle in the position tool, that's roughly the same thing. I was looking, if we drop down to the 1 minute, it's that second zone. It counts as an area that could possibly still send price down. There's that first zone. There's that second zone. What did we have here? It's the same thing. You had a push into the level. It respected what would be a double top from this zone here. Didn't break and close above. Actually had a wick above it, but then closed below it. And it's like, okay, and that left the zone. So it's like, would that work? Sure. And so from the distance there to the top of the zone, then double it, and that's basically what would have panned out right there. And this is where I'm like, I don't know, at what point in time do you call it quits? At what point in time do you hold it? I still haven't figured that out yet, so we'll see. So yeah, there's that. So I'm still playing with that idea. But completely hedged now. I have a 27 down below, a 16 above, and then a 11 way up there. Euro GBP, same thing. We're just stuck in no man's land. I do have a zone here that looks promising, but I haven't done anything with it. And I'm also pretty close to being at full capacity for that one. So I don't know. I'd have to throw extra money at it. Same thing here. I'm just waiting for this. Hopefully we'll continue going up into that next zone, and then I'll be able to manage it. NZD CAD, I have waiting for price to drop. It didn't stay in the zone that I was expecting a bounce from. NZD CHF, I am once again struggling in no man's land. This is a really low position. We're at 0.06. So I could probably add to this if it gets up there in that 0.03 area, which I have an alert set to let me know. It all depends on how it's going to get up there. And then NZD USD. This one I have done pretty well with, I think, in regards to trimming. And so now I have this position here at a 20. I'm waiting for price to continue moving up. It looks like it should. And then we'll be able to get to that zone there and hopefully get a pullback and manage it. If I go here to NZD USD, this is one that has done pretty well, and so I'm okay with that. That's over the last month, last week. So yeah, that is that. That's how everything's been going, and I've just been steadily working at it. I want to get up to about $8,000 to $10,000, and then I'll probably look to, once I can double or get the account to 8,000 to 10,000 organically, I will probably add another 4 or 5, because at that point in time I'll have enough saved up on my back end to be able to do that. I'm also thinking about pulling some out and treating myself to buying a faster bike. My bike is great, love it. It just doesn't have the power that I need whenever I'm on the interstate. So it's not necessarily that I want to go crazy fast. It's just the idea that I've seen the benefit of having the power in order to get going. And so that's really all I want. I want to be able to, if something stupid's going on, I want to be able to get away from that something stupid. So that has basically been that. If you stuck around for this long, YouTube is going to recommend something somewhere over there. This is based upon you and based upon something that I have here that may help you. If you want to join Discord, by all means, hop on down into the comments or the links below, and there's a Discord there and we can come chat. I'm just here to give you what has worked for me and what I've learned all throughout the years. And if it works for you, great. If you can take it and run with it, even better. If you can't, well, okay, then it is what it is. I will advise you to be careful of shiny object syndrome. Okay, be careful of finding the next thing that you see works and going, ooh, I want to do that. I want to completely and totally negate everything that I've done in regards to my experimenting, and I want to start new. If you fall into that trap, you'll continue repeating that trap, and you'll get to a point where you're like, yeah, Forex will never work, or it's a scam, or everything like that. Day trading just isn't you can't do it. It's like, no, it can be done. It takes a special type of person to realize what it takes in order to make it happen. Being dedicated to one system is that. You have to be that type of person. So find a system that resonates with you. It doesn't matter what it is. And it can be as simple as trend lines, as support and resistance, as EMAs, as Fibonacci's. It can be as simple as 2 candle. It can be as complex as smart money concepts, as institutional order flows, as fair value gaps, and it can be as complicated as multiple indicators and a checklist and all that other stuff in the moons and stars aligning in the world. It's really just a matter of, it's what makes whatever you make work. So, like I said, come join. I'd love to help.